Welcome back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
We're back with Faith IRL.
IRL in real life.
With Orah and David.
And David and Orah.
We're so happy to have you here.
Come on, so good. Orah.
Yes.
I heard, little birdie told me.
Yep, they like to
that
talk.
You were traveling in an aeroplane.
I traveled in a lot of airplanes.
Did you really?
I just got back from Nairobi, Kenya.
I want to know how many planes did it take and how many hours and where did you
Yes.
Did you fly first class? Was Taylor Swift with you in first class?
First of all, she owns her own plane.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she invited you on the private plane in first class.
I was not in first class. And
Okay.
the fact that you have to walk past first class on the way to your peon seats.
It's shaming, it's like plane shaming, I think is what I'm calling it. You
It's
look
terrible.
and it's like, yeah, they're showing you
just
the beauty.
know what you could have. Have you ever flown first class before?
I have not, and let me tell you, I have traveled all over the world, as many people know,
Yeah.
46 some countries, all over, blah, 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 and yet have I to travel in first class.
Do you want to?
Or if you want to pay for me to fly in first class, I will take that ticket
Would you
all
do
day
it?
long. Oh, I would totally fly in
But
first
because
class.
it would be hard for you to go back.
Oh,
You know?
is that your point? Well, when you're talking about a transatlantic flight or
Yep.
an Asia Pacific flight, and it's a 10, 12, 14-hour flight. I mean, and you see those first class seats.
I know, David.
And they lay all the way
Unbelievable.
down.
Lay
and
flat.
they have these big screen TV.
Oh,
I mean,
my
if you've never
goodness.
been on a long distance flight
Yep.
and you walk past, it's like a 32-inch legit screen.
It's so nice.
Laid back. The food is amazing.
Way better food. Way better.
Yeah.
David, I have
the
flown
best
first
I've
class.
done is economy plus.
Oh, well, that's good.
Have you done business class?
I've flown first class.
You have not.
I have flown first class.
She's the star here, just so everybody knows.
I know. Okay.
Tell me about your first class experience.
Okay, one time in college, I had to go to China for a reason, and I was flying standby.
Okay.
And my friend's dad was a pilot, so I was on his thing flying standby, and they upgraded me.
I am
to
so
first
jealous.
class
I am
to
so jealous right now. To China. That is great. And was it as beautiful and wonderful as everybody
It was
says?
so nice.
But how long ago was this?
Yeah, it was too long ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm old.
Did
so
they have the whole flat thing
Yep,
at that
I laid
point?
flat.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it was so nice. I didn't know that I was going to fly first class, obviously, and I had never done it before. I didn't know the things that they were offering me were free. It was.
Did you say no?
I kept being like, at one point, she told me because I kept saying, I was like, that's okay. That's okay. It's kind of like, do you want soda at the pizza place? You're like, no, I'm not rich. What are you talking about?
Exactly. That's $2.50 or
Exactly.
whatever the cost is. Yeah, okay.
So then she did tell me at one point, like, hey, this is free.
This is all free. And
I
then,
know.
And then what'd you do?
Then I was like, bring it back.
I want everything that you just offered. Stick it all right here. I will consume it before
Exactly.
I get there.
It was amazing.
Wow.
But for this trip, we flew economy. And
with the kids.
with kids, 5 of
Wow.
us on a flight.
Can
and
I
it
tell
was,
you, that is brave.
one of our longest flights was 15 and a half hours.
Oh my gosh.
That was
yes.
to Doha, Qatar.
I've done that. It is crazy, crazy long.
It's so
It's torture.
long. I was losing
You
my
are
mind.
paying to be tortured.
Yes.
In a little tin can.
You start to be like, we're halfway done. And you're like, that's still 7.5 more hours.
Oh, but all the free movies you can consume.
No, I was so tired of watching movies.
This is the truth. This is the little known secret. You get
Oh,
so sick of movies
my gosh.
on the plane.
I was so tired of it.
Yep.
And I have a 5-year-old who I'm with, and
Oh.
I'm sitting next to he doesn't want to watch movies for 15 and a half hours.
At first he thinks it's awesome.
Yep.
But then,
Then
three
he's like-
hours in and he's like, no, I want to go run around.
And he wants to watch something specific.
Yeah, of course.
You're like,
and
no,
it's
that's not
there.
how this works.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
It was long. But
'Kay.
Kenya itself,
Yes.
Nairobi itself rather, was lovely.
Okay.
I totally loved it. I think everybody should go.
Interesting.
It was the most family-friendly place I've ever been. I loved
Fascinating.
it.
Okay.
The food was amazing.
Well, I was just going to ask you, I've been to Nairobi multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite food that you ate? Number one.
Okay.
And number two, what was the most unique food that you had?
Okay, wow,
Okay,
wow,
see,
wow.
We
Okay.
never ask ahead of time, so
I
I'm
know.
putting her on the spot.
And my memory's terrible.
Okay, that's
but,
okay.
Okay.
Favorite. That's
My-
gotta
yeah,
come
thank you.
Easy.
I already
Favorite
forgot
food.
the
What was the
question.
thing that you were like, oh my gosh, I gotta have this again?
Yes. Okay. I had this is such a lame answer. It makes me seem like I'm really healthy, but I'm not. It was a salmon salad.
Oh my gosh, the salad, whatever.
But it was so good. It was so fresh.
Okay.
And it was so good.
Okay.
Oh, and we did this like tour at this coffee farm.
Oh,
and
coffee farm.
they served us lunch afterwards, and that chef was unbelievable. And there was like coffee encrusted short rib, like that kind of stuff. That was, it was so good.
So I'm taking it to say this was not a missions trip.
You
You were on the bougie end of Nairobi. Let me tell you, I've been on the other side of Nairobi, but Orah has to experience the other side.
Yes.
Typical first class economy. Bougie food.
Yes.
I get to be in the slums.
But David, when you live your life as a Christian light, everywhere you go is a mission trip. Okay.
You got to shine it in the rich places as well as the poor. I understand that. Thank you for taking the cross,
You're
Orah.
welcome.
I appreciate that.
Somebody has to do it, David.
That
I'm here for the hard
coffee-encrusted
stuff.
short ribs on a coffee tour. Yes,
It was very cool.
It was
very cool. But they also served split pea soup.
Okay.
Which peas, like, can we agree is the worst food in the history of mankind is a pea?
Can I tell you, I've had many split pea soups in Kenya. It's kind of a thing that they do.
Yes.
So I don't know if you knew that.
Because it was like British colonized. It's a British soup.
And peas, not pea.
Yep.
Peas for the British colony was big. It's all
Huge.
over. Yeah.
What? How do you rank a split pea soup? You want to have it on a Saturday night?
Did you have it cold or hot?
It was hot. Okay. Wow, I didn't even know you could have it cold.
Oh, you can do cold too.
Oh my gosh,
I've had both, and I'll take the hot every day.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, like, would you be like, Heather, can you make me a split pea soup? Like,
never came to my mind at all. But it's interesting, right?
I make my kids like eat everything. Like a Brussels sprout, you're gonna try it. Blah blah blah. If there's peas in a dish, I go no.
Oh,
no.
you're exempt from that.
Yes.
Don't have to do that. Anything else?
I eat around it in a fried rice. I'm just not a pea girl.
Oh, really?
It's the worst.
Heather,
vegetable.
my wife, loves peas. She puts it in all kinds of things.
No.
She does. Yes. Do you fettuccine Alfredo? Do you put peas in your fettuccine? I had never heard of that. I got married and she started dumping peas in the fettuccine Alfredo sauce. I'm like, what are you doing?
No.
She says, well, everybody does this. And I'm like, no, everybody does not do that.
No. Wow. I don't buy peas.
Okay,
I pick it out of anything frozen. If it's like, I pull them all out.
But see, I like a good pea. I'll have peas with my pork chops. I love pork chop, peas, and applesauce. I know it's random, but that's what I do. It is delicious.
Well,
probably one of the few times I have peas on. I'm just
pork
not thinking about
chops,
that.
peas, and applesauce.
Yeah, you like that?
No.
Okay,
no.
Well, it's delicious. Orah, Heather and I are going to have you and Phil over. We're going to have pork chops, peas, and applesauce.
Getting called to the principal's office, and we have to eat peas.
Let me tell you, I make a mean pork chop. It's pretty good. Yeah. Well, okay, so what's one of the most crazy foods you've had? Or the food that maybe was the grossest, or the thing that you were just like, whoa, that was Kenyan. I don't know if I could do that.
Okay, yeah, though, well, the split pea soup was terrible. And then which it was good, to the chef.
This is what I'm saying.
I know he's watching, obviously.
He's watching. You're a big deal there, so yes.
Great split pea soup. Great job.
Are we gonna get some new Kenyan followers here? I think this is great. So
Okay. I ordered a smoothie. Have you ever ordered a smoothie in Nairobi?
No, I have not because I don't trust ice in foreign countries.
Okay, it was warm. It was a warm smoothie.
Okay, I never had a warm smoothie in my life. Okay,
it was like heavy on the beet, and it was warm. It was.
Did it have
rough.
chunks of beets?
It might as well. I mean, I was just being like, it's healthy, like doing that, and it was terrible. I drank maybe an inch, and I gave a bunch to Phil.
Okay,
he really took one for the team. No, but he was like, it's healthy.
Or is
it's
this
healthy.
at someone's house, or was this at a restaurant?
No, this was at a restaurant.
Oh well,
you would have just not had it.
That would have been like, no thanks, no way. I leave that alone. Let's move on to something good. Like
this is gonna make me so really. This is gonna make me so healthy. If you were like, yes, this will help my immune system, I'm gonna be so healthy.
Are you one of those people? Those
perfect
people,
person?
The person that will endure awful food in order to think that it will give you good benefits to your body, which in reality a good Krispy Kreme donut will do just as well as a shake. How about that?
Dr. David
like
here.
Dr. D right there here.
Okay, I am like a texture person, so if it's a weird texture, I can't do it.
Got it. Okay.
So I can't put like a green powder into my water and drink it. You know, like that's just a no for me. That's gonna gag me. But if it's like, hey, beets are really good for you and like you're going to be the healthiest person that's ever lived in human history.
That's good.
I'll be like, all right, I guess I'm eating beets.
Wow.
You know?
Fascinating. Well, that leads us right into our podcast discussion.
Oh, were we here to podcast today?
Beets and peas. This is maybe the title of our podcast.
Beets and peas with Orah and David.
Everybody. So Orah, we're talking about food and how we can make our body healthy. And obviously this is a spiritual, faith in real life.
It's true.
So how do we, let's talk about fasting.
I would love to talk about fasting.
Oh my God, because there are physical benefits to fasting.
Yep.
Spiritual benefits to fasting.
Yep.
Physiological benefits to fast. I mean, in every area.
Yeah.
So
are you saying we're talking about fasting today?
I'm going to say, let's fast.
Let's talk about fasting.
For at least the next hour, we're going to fast. After that, I'm going for my Krispy Kreme donut. But let's go for it.
Let's fast right now.
So what do you got? You prepared?
Okay, yeah,
I don't know where you
started.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
At what age do you remember your first fast?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
I'm going to say I was probably 16 the first time I fasted.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I think so,
And what's the longest food fast you've done?
The longest food fast I've done is 7 days.
That's really long, David.
Okay.
I was not expecting it to be that long.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
But, I mean, my mentors and some of the pastors that have been here at this church have done 40 days.
Of no food?
Of no food. No solid food.
So you can drink a smoothie.
Like a smoothie or soup.
Okay.
Right, something like that. Yeah, broth and all that kind of stuff. So that's a long time.
That's so long.
When I think about my 7 days, it's pretty small in comparison
David,
to my
I want you to be proud of your 7 days. That's good. 7 days, that seems long.
From a spiritual side, we shouldn't be,
boasting about your fasting. You're right. David, take it back. Take it back.
I take that back, yeah. So that's the longest I've done.
Okay, that's long. Okay, and then what's your preferred fat? Like when you're like, I'm going to fast, like now you're going to fast, what do? It's always a meal or it's a day or what do you do when you know you're going to fast?
Yeah. Well, I need to set a caveat for a second.
Okay.
Okay. And that is that I think there are 2 groups of people.
Okay.
Okay. And the first group of people, and this is massive generality. Okay. This is my theory. This is not a biblical theory. It's my theory. Okay.
Okay. We're ready.
Is that some people are like motivated by food. And they like food, right? Food is a thing for them.
That's me.
And other people, food is just fuel.
Yes.
Does that make
That's you.
And that's me.
Yes.
And so when it comes to fasting, then I think the degree to which someone that is driven by food and someone that's not driven by food is not necessarily equally measured.
That's really interesting.
Does that
I've never
make
thought
sense?
of that before. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me to say, I went 7 days, okay, that's great. Again, I'm not trying to make light of it and I'm not trying to be proud about it, but I'm just like, I'm not necessarily driven by food. It doesn't like make me super excited.
Yeah.
I could have a hamburger or cereal or a steak, and at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be, I'm fine.
Wow.
I know, right?
I can't even.
My wife, Heather is the same way. She's like, I don't understand you.
Yeah, you don't have like at the end of this, if I do this, I will get myself that huge monster cookie from McLean's Bakery.
Yeah, I know. Wow. I know. I don't think that way.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
What a different head you have.
That's what lots of people say.
You've been told that your whole life.
I've been told that my whole life, exactly. So there you go.
Okay.
I can't remember what the question was, but that's where we went off on a tangent there.
I was asking, what your go-to fast was.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you were...
So go-to fast, for me has been traditionally been food, and I'll fast food, and I'll have water. Typically, that's kind of what I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've done media fasts where like no computer, no phone, no whatever, unless it's like, of course, no AI, but unless it's work related or whatever, you have to get stuff done. But yeah.
That's your go-to.
Okay, that's my go-to.
Okay.
Okay, now, so we'll flip the questions to you, Orah.
Well, it's going to be short-lived.
You got to answer your own questions.
I know.
Okay. No shame in this at all, and no boasting in this.
Okay. So, don't worry about that.
Because I know we've talked about this a little bit. You are a woman,
yes,
and you're pregnant. you've had health issues. And I always, when I talk about fasting from a pastoral perspective from the pulpit, I really try to be clear about this. Like if you're pregnant or you have health issues, please don't fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's make sure that that's super clear.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that with caveat to say, so tell me about what your go-to is, how long you've done it, what have you guys done?
Okay, so I'm born and raised with blood sugar issues, so I have never in my life done a food fast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know.
Great. Okay.
Never, ever.
All right.
Which it's been an issue in time at ORU or something. You were supposed to fast. You're having to convince people that you shouldn't fast.
You're feeling the community shame and the pressure.
Yes,
okay.
because it wasn't as popular then to do like a media fast a million years ago when I was in college. You know what I mean?
It wasn't a thing. I agree.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So, that's something that I always think I would love churches to do more because 1 in 3 people have diabetes or pre-diabetes in America.
Oh, wow. That's 33%.
It is.
That's a lot.
So that's a large part of your congregation who like needs instruction on how to fast.
Yeah, okay.
And like just being like, you're not less than if you can't fast food.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Like it's not like, So, I have not fasted food, but I have done a lot of different media fasts. I've done like a TV fast or like only listening to Christian music. I love music.
So that's a hard one.
That is a hard one for me.
Okay.
Only,
let me ask you a different question then, because I think this will be better for you. What was the most difficult fast that you had to do? The thing that was like, this is hard.
Yeah, I did TV fasts.
Okay, so the TV fast.
And that was really hard for me. Especially like, I did it in college. I've done it post-college. Yeah. Those were really hard. Sometimes when you do like a social media fast, for me, I can delete it from my phone. Yeah. It just like, it's a little easier for like that whole situation. But TV, you're in your house. You have the huge TV. You're used to watching TV at night.
Right.
To, like,
you just
kind
sit
of chill
down
out.
and you wind down, right?
Yes.
So
no
that
more
one
wind down.
Can
be a lot harder for me to be like, I just want to watch the TV.
How long have you gone on the TV fast? What do you think?
I don't know. I'd be guessing.
Just guess. It's
yeah,
all right.
yeah. So I'd say 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I know. I think really? I don't always. Yeah, it's not like I do that all the time.
No,
it's
I
not
know. But 2 or 3 weeks. That's when you think about it, that stacks up.
It is hard.
Wow. So are you doing different things? You coloring, you writing, you...
yeah, okay, so I had heard...
go to bed at 6 o'clock every night?
That, I don't know if this is true. I wanted to ask you this. I had heard that one of the ways when you would grow up fasting, when you gave up the meal, you were supposed to pray in the time that you were eating.
Right, or at least have some portion of prayer.
Yes.
You're not just fasting food for the sake of fasting food.
Yeah.
Right? And we can get into the spiritual side of it, but yeah, 100%.
So it'd be like, if you're not having breakfast, while you're having breakfast, you need to pray. When you were going to have lunch, you still leave for your lunch and you pray.
Yeah.
You, like that kind of vibe?
And I wouldn't say like, hey, you have to fast that whole time that you would have, okay, I took 30 minutes to eat, so I'm going to spend 30 minutes in prayer.
Yeah.
But the idea of fasting is to say, okay, I'm going to subject my body to some hunger. And so there's a spiritual parallel. So I'm hungry for food. And so now I want to teach my body and my soul and my spirit that I want to be hungry for God.
Yeah.
And so I'm replacing that hunger with prayer, with worship, with reading the word or whatever it is, so that I get, what would be a thing? Like I begin to, I'm trying to think of the right word. Like, I would begin to like hunger and thirst for more of God's presence than food itself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm leaning into, man, I want to crave God, not just that steak.
Yeah.
Or that hamburger. And let me tell you, when you're fasting, even though I'm not driven by food, I'm telling you, 2 days in, 3 days in, I'm thinking about food. And I'm not driven by food, but I'm thinking about, I want that Krispy Kreme donut. Yeah. I want that cookie. I want the steak. I want the hamburger. And I want it all right now, right? Because our body's that way.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have to train my brain to go, no, I'm going to say no to that. And I want to be that hungry for God.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the thought of the whole idea of fasting, right?
Yes.
We're training our body, right? It's a temple of the Holy Spirit, and we're engaged in spiritual warfare in a sense. And I want to be hungry for who He is and what He has for me.
I think a confusing part of fasting that I like always, I think people don't even realize that they might be like interpreting is that oftentimes we feel like we are doing it to get God's attention.
Ooh, this is good. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like we're earning something with our fast.
Yeah.
And like you'll be like, I want a breakthrough. I want to be healthy. I'm going to fast and like get God's attention.
Right.
And he's going to hear me, even though he knows allegedly all the hairs on my head. But for some reason, if I fast, he's magically going to hear me.
He's really going to take notice of me at that point.
Exactly. And like, I think for some reason we've really like intermingled those. And then it's become like a way subconsciously of us kind of like earning God's attention.
Yeah. Okay, so this is really interesting because as we look at it from a biblical perspective, their motives were not unlike our motives.
Yeah.
Let's think about King David for a second.
Okay.
And if you remember, he sleeps with Bathsheba, kills Uriah. It's one of the super low points spiritually of his life. Bathsheba gets pregnant. Right?
It's a wild story.
Right, it's a wild story, right? And the baby is sick. And what does David do? He gets off his throne. He in dust and ashes. He's on the floor. He's weeping, pleading, begging God, fasting to ask God to spare the child.
Yeah.
Right? In a sense, David's trying to get God's attention.
He is.
I'm sorry. God, not just am I sorry, but I am not going to eat food. I'm not going to take all the pleasures of the court and all the stuff that the kingdom has to offer me because, God, I'm in distress.
Yeah.
And there's this aspect of distress that goes along with fasting too. And we see that throughout Scripture.
Yes.
Not just David. And of course, the end of the story there is that the child dies. And then what is
hard story?
It's a crazy story. And then, of course, the palace, servants are like freaking out, scared to death to tell David, what is he going to do now? Is he going to kill himself? I mean, this is what they're thinking.
They're nervous.
He's going to kill himself.
Because he was so distraught
100%.
when the baby was, right.
Yeah. And then, of course, what does he do? He gets up, puts on lotion, bathes himself, goes in and asks for a meal, wants his hamburger.
He's like, all right, well, I did what I could.
I did what I could.
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating.
It is. That's a really fascinating story.
And then we see this too in the Old Testament, like with kings that are faced with greater armies that are coming towards them in Israel. They would have the whole nation fast.
Yes.
Right? Again, distress.
And Esther does it.
Esther's another great one,
Yes, she does a 3-day fast.
Right. Yeah. Asking all of the Israelites within the kingdom to fast.
Yeah.
Right? And they do. Mm-hmm. And God does listen.
Which is
really interesting too, because we see all these different paths, and we could go story after story after story where God sometimes he responds and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, Daniel he does the fast that's like the
21 day
Daniel fast.
Yeah, the classic fast.
Yes,
right? Yeah, right. And God answers that.
Yep.
Right?
I know.
They get plumper and fatter, which was kind of a good looking thing back in the day. So
it is like, well, why do we think we're going to get God's attention from fasting? Because the Bible blueprinted it for us.
Because we see that happen, right? We see that with Ezra too. They're trying to figure out, okay, they're coming back to the promise, or they're coming back into Jerusalem. They're trying to build the temple and the foundation. They're fasting. They're asking for God's help and favor. And it says that because they're going on this long journey, and they have all this money and gold with them, and all the bandits and people that are coming, and they're saying, God, protect us. They started off with prayer and fasting, and God protects them the whole way through. So,
wow, I forgot about that story too. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Right?
It worked in that instance.
Fascinating.
Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
So
that's all Old Testament. Can we keep going biblically now since we're in this vein?
Yeah.
So then let's shift to New Testament. I'm sure you pulled up some passages there too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most notably, Jesus fasts 40 days in the wilderness.
Right.
We all know this one.
Okay.
The devil comes and has a conversation with Jesus, which is wild.
It's very wild.
And Jesus fasts all food for 40 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You think about that. Which
Literally
is a mirror of what Moses did.
Yes.
Of ascending Mount Sinai.
Yes.
Spending his time in the presence of the Lord 40 days and 40 nights as well.
Yes.
It's like Jesus is having an encounter. Jesus is doing what Moses couldn't do.
Yes.
Right?
Both wilderness moments.
Yeah, both wilderness moments. Yeah. Right? And Jesus responds with the word at each of those different instances where the devil comes to him, and he overcomes the enemy.
Yes.
For all of us, which is powerful. What Moses in the law couldn't do, Jesus does through grace. And I think that's important. And we don't typically get to preach and kind of talk like that, but that's really important because it sets the foundation that the law, going back to your point here, that the law can never do what grace can do.
Right.
And what Jesus through his blood can do for us.
Right.
Right? Like that's really important for us to know. So when we fast, shifting to New Testament, it's not what we do for God, but what he begins to conform in us. And this is what fasting then begins to mean in the New Testament, that it forms and shapes us into God's image, not us trying to fashion and form him into what we want.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
good.
I'm just trying
to
bring that back to the conversation here.
So you're saying when Jesus comes and does the fast, that's the transformation of the fast from what it used to be to what it is now?
Well, I don't know if I want to go that far. Okay. But I think there's some that we can link some of those things. I wouldn't build a whole theology on that. Let's be clear. But I do see a shift there. Like Jesus does something for us that we could never do for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so therefore then we're never commanded in the New Testament to fast. Like it's not a command. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jesus doesn't say in order to become a follower of me, you have to fast.
Right.
Right. And that's really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast is a thing that should be an internal desire. It's not an external command that God gives us.
Yeah.
He wants us to be in relationship with him, not to kind of follow some rules. And that's really important too.
That is important.
Yeah.
I had a note here that Paul talks about fasting.
Okay.
In the Corinthians, and he actually is talking about fasting sex, which I thought was really interesting and 100%. I never really hear anybody talk about, but it did occur. It's in the Bible. Where
it is in the Bible, folks. Yes.
Yeah. He says,
the passage. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 7:5. He says, abstain from sexual relations for a time to devote yourselves to prayer.
Right.
And then he says but don't do it for too long because you can get tempted, basically.
Yeah, it'd be don't. Which at the time there were a lot of people in the first century here with Paul. It's like they felt like sex was a very negative thing, even for married people. It was a dirty business, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so, therefore, if you're going to be spiritual and holy, you would never engage in sex. Paul's trying to shift that conversation to say, no. If you want to devote yourselves to God, that's great, but do it for a period. But sex itself is not bad.
Yeah.
Which any other kind of holy person in the day would have said, no, sex is not a thing that we do. It's dirty and disgusting. Don't do that. It's necessary for population, but other than that, it's not a holy thing.
They wanted to differentiate themselves from the Romans so greatly at that time, likely, in their sexual preferences of the Romans.
Potentially, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I thought, when I think of fasting, I always think food biblically.
Right.
So I was like, it's kind of cool that Paul throws something random, to me random, out there about sex because he's right there saying it's not always food.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Well, what does, oh man, I wish I could go back and look because I'm taking this off from memory now, but is it Isaiah that says it? I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it says, what is the fast that I've chosen for you? It's not a fast of food, but it's a fast for you to loose the bonds of those that you've enslaved. I want you to have a fast of justice and mercy. I can't remember the whole passage. Jennifer, can you look that up for me? I should know that as a pastor. I know I'm going to get comments out there.
No.
But
it's
again,
a big book to memorize, David.
but God says, this is the fast. You can look that phrase up, Jennifer. This is the fast that I have chosen. And it doesn't have to do with food. It has to do with justice and mercy and compassion.
Yeah.
So think about that now. So let's jettison food for a second.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what if we told our church, we want you to fast for the next few days. We want you to have justice, mercy, and compassion. Like, what would that look like in our church?
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, what's Isaiah? Okay.
58:6-7.
Okay, Isaiah 58:6-7, and we'll put that scripture up there. But it says, this is the fast I've chosen, right? And what does it say, Jennifer? We're going to set the oppressed free. Yeah, share your food with the hungry, right? And then what's the other one? I think there was 3 things. Yeah. Justice and compassion for others.
Actively participate. Okay, wow, that's good.
So
I like that.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
So again, this is the fast that God has chosen, because what was happening is that there was the hypocritical nature of fasting, not only in the Old Testament but also in the New Testament. Jesus says this: when you fast, don't be like a hypocrite.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
right. That what they would do is they would get all weak, and they
were showing off their
throwing
fasting.
dust on their heads and just kind of saying, "Look how holy I am," because I'm saying no to the world and everything that it has. And Jesus Jesus says, that's a bunch of bull, stop
Yes.
that. Do what really you need to do. You're greedy, so share with what you have with other people, right?
Yeah.
Do justice, love mercy, all these kinds of things.
Yes.
That's what real fasting, that's what's going to move the heart of God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that. That's Matthew 6:16 is
Thank
that
you. Okay.
section.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I read this online and I thought it was really good where it says fasting is not just about food, it's about focus.
Yeah, that's good.
And
that's right.
it's a way to humble ourselves before God, seek clarity,
Yep.
and surrender the desires that control us.
That's right.
Which to me, it sounded a little cultish, but I really like surrender the desires that control us. But I really liked the idea of like it being more about focus, where your focus is.
Yeah. And I'll flip it for you too. I think it's not just focus, but what you said there was really important. So maybe I'll use 2 F words because I'm a preacher, right? It's not just focus, but God fashions us, right? So we always think about us. I'm going to focus on whatever it is. I'm going to focus on God, but it needs to be flipped so that, no, God's going to fashion me. As I focus on him, he's going to do the work in me that needs to be done, even the work that I don't even know needs to be done. Because there may be some junk in here that I'm not even that I don't even realize.
Yeah.
And I want him to deal with me on that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because a lot of that fasting, again, not all of it, but a lot of it is like, I want an answer to your point. I want an answer. I want God to do something for me. I want this door opened. And again, I think those are great things to ask for. Jesus says, ask, right?
Yeah.
Ask and keep on asking, knock and keep on asking. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, God wants the relationship with us so that when we ask, we want to ask with the right motives. This is what James says. You have not because you're asking with wrong motives. Well, so when we fast, let's make sure that we're getting in the right headspace to ask for the things that God really wants for us.
Yeah.
Those things are going to be the best things for us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a preaching
No,
moment
I like
there,
that.
but yeah.
I like that. I like the idea of the fashion. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I looked up what we could be doing for a digital detox fast.
Okay. Before we go there, I wanted to hit one more point.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, sorry, because you're going to go off on another biblical thing that I thought was interesting as I was kind of looking through some things is fasting helps us with decisions that we need to make.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the apostles in the book of Acts are trying to figure out who they're going to send out when it comes to church planting and the spread of the gospel. And they spend time fasting and praying, and they hear through the Spirit, hey, we're going to send out Paul and Barnabas, which was a massive decision that changed the course, really, of Christianity in and of itself. Of course, God's Spirit, we know he's working through that, and they would have done it without him. But God works with us, right? And so their prayer and fasting helped them make the decision that actually changed the Roman Empire. You think about that. So when we're faced with decisions of monumental importance, I think it's really good to ask.
Yeah.
They came to it humbly, not knowing who to send out and what to do. And then as a result of that, they sent out Paul and Barnabas.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, so if you're faced with some kind of big decision, I think with a job change or a changed move to another state, or you're even considering changing churches or whatever it is, that those big decisions, sending your kids to a Christian school or a private school. We've talked about this in our podcast. I mean, all these things that we have, these are big decisions. Like, take a day and fast.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Ask God to move and see what he does, see if he gives you some clarity.
It's a good idea because I think a lot of times, you're praying and you're just like, well, I'm just going to hope he closes the door because I don't know,
Right.
And this might give you the opportunity to listen more than you had before.
Yeah. And I think it doesn't have to be a 7-day fast. I mean, even if you just take a day and say, hey, I'm going to pause and take a day and I'm going to fast lunches, or I'm going to fast the lunch, or I'm going to fast the whole day, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think you're telling God, hey, this is serious and I need your help. I can't do this. I need your clarity. I think there's something really powerful to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me that I brought a book.
Okay. What do we got?
That's going to shock absolutely nobody that I brought a book.
Bookstagram followers right here. Okay.
This is called Sacred Seasons.
Okay.
And it's like a family guide to center your year around Jesus. So it's kind of like a holiday. It's a lot of the Christian holidays and stuff. It kind of walks you through a bunch of how you can really live your life with your family, doing Christian holidays, focusing on Jesus, stuff like that. But there's a lot about fasting in this book
Really?
that is
Okay.
really, really interesting and good. And I marked some sections that I will promise you I will find. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
But it had some ideas here about fasting that it said fasting, you shouldn't use it as like a punishment to feel miserable.
Yeah.
It should be challenging, but not totally miserable.
Okay.
You know, as like atoning for sins kind of vibe, you know?
Okay, and I want to take a little aside here because this is great. Say that one more time, and then I'm going to add something. I'm going to flip that.
Yes,
That's so good.
fasting should not be used as a punishment. It should be challenging, but not miserable.
Okay, and I think that's so good. It should be challenging, not miserable. I'm gonna flip it again. Oftentimes in Scripture, people fast or the nation fasts at great distress, or they're feeling kind of the miserable thing, like they're feeling like overwhelmed. Have you ever? I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever felt that way, Orah, where you've just been so overwhelmed with either a decision you have to make or a situation that's happening in your life, maybe some conflict or whatever, that you're just like, you're almost like frozen in, I don't know what to do?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay.
I have,
yeah. And how do you typically respond in situations like that? Because everybody responds in a variety of ways. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. You know, I'm sure we've had both. I know I have, right? Sometimes you're just like, okay, I'm shutting the world out and I'm going to eat all those crisps. I'm going to have a dozen to myself. That's how I'm going to respond to this, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of times, I mean, if I'm like completely overwhelmed in life, I think I like am just trying to get to the next day. So it's like, it's just kind of me just being like, I did it. I made it through today.
Yeah.
Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Got it.
But like, I'm so overwhelmed. And a lot of times it's like really just having conversations with my husband, like kind of.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah, that's good.
Kind of not a great answer, but that's what I have for you.
No, that's good. Well, I have had a situation in my own life where I was so distressed and so overcome that the natural response for me was like, I'm not going to eat food. I'm going to fast because I'm so distraught. And that led me down a path of just being able to get to a place where at the end of the day, I was like, God, I don't know how to handle this situation. I don't know where to go. And I didn't have resolution even at the end of the fast.
Okay.
But I was able to have open hands to say, God, you know I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think then there's some peace that comes to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel like you're taking an action when you don't know what the action should be?
That's great insight. 100%. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do, but I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then got to a place where I could have peace. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But to your point here, it's not just to make yourself miserable. It's in your miserable state, then I can do something that maybe God's going to, see and move on my behalf.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not
That's
working for it.
Yes.
I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting God to do something, but I am going to be like David and say, you know what? Maybe God's going to move, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to trust him that he knows best.
Yeah.
And he knows my heart.
I do like that.
Okay, sorry, I got off on a tangent, but I think I love this book and where you're going.
Yes,
so go for it.
So another one is fasting is not a way to atone for your sins. Jesus already did that.
Thank you. Yes, that's so good. Say that one more time because I think our viewing audience needs to hear that.
Fasting is not a way to atone for your sins.
That's right.
So it's not like, oh my gosh, I messed up. I viewed pornography. I'm going to fast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
it's not that.
100%.
That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not for weight loss. If it's not for changing a habit, it's like, because sometimes it can be like, well, it'd be great if like when I fasted,
lose 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's right before I'm going to be in this wedding, so it's kind of perfect.
Too.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
It's not a chance to reboot your New Year's resolution.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not an opportunity to break habits.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good one because I do think that can be, even for social media fast, people will be like, this is a great way for me to just break the habit of Instagram.
Yeah.
But that's like not the vibe of going into a fast.
100%.
You know?
It's the 21st century way of saying they want to like kind of detox their body or whatever.
Yes.
But it's not the spiritual thing that God's called us to.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not the habit thing. God wants to, again, he wants to form something in us.
Yes.
And shape us. I think that's really good.
Again,
Did you have something? I thought this is such a good.
It's a good book. I really like it. I
Was there
recommend
anything
it.
else that struck out at you?
There was a lot in there. There's like,
Okay.
she talks about it over like 12 different pages. There's like a Lenten fast. There's all these, yes, that are so good. I recommend it. It's really good.
That's great. So we'll put a link up on the book for that. Sacred Seasons.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not heard of this before, so okay.
Okay. Should we talk about a digital detox?
Oh yes. Let's go back to that because I do think it's a great way to fast in the 21st century where there's so much noise and conversation that we can't even think straight.
I really like the idea of it giving you a sense of like stillness because because digital media just kind of keeps your brain turned on.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So I really like that it's like gives you kind of a chance to like reconnect and be still.
Oh. I spoke to a group of teenagers last year. There were 50 of them. No, maybe 60, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. And I had them all pull out their phones.
Okay.
And I asked them, for those that had iPhones, I said, I want you to tell me how many hours you've spent on your device.
No. That's terrifying.
Oh, they were terrified. They were terrified. I had this whole talk. It was a breakout session in our RevCon conference that we had here, and I asked them to pull out their phones and tell me, and they were. I mean,
were they so embarrassed?
You should have heard the collective. Oh, I legit. I mean, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Orah. It was terrifying.
I mean, were the numbers higher than you expected or about what you expected?
No, way higher than I thought. Way higher than I thought.
Yeah.
They were the average in the room.
Let me guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Average in the room, 12 hours.
Nope.
Higher?
Yep.
15 hours.
Yeah, 15 hours.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of hours.
I had one kid, no joke, because he pulled out his phone. I didn't believe him when he told me. He had an average of like 19 hours on his phone. 19 hours.
Whoa.
I said, give me your phone. I don't believe you.
He must sleep with it on.
And he showed, and I could not believe it. So just talking to parents out there, or grandparents out there, or even I'm talking to you parents that are out there just as bad as your kids, like you cannot have a soul that hears the voice of God when you're spending 13 hours on the phone. You cannot have a relationship with God when you're so consumed with your digital device. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be that blunt about it. You can't. It becomes an idol. What you're doing is you're bowing down to this thing. Every time you get on it, you're bowing down to it. And man, I don't want to feel like I'm anti-phone and technology because you guys know I'm not.
He's really into AI.
If you've watched this podcast, you know. But like this is not healthy.
I know.
And it create what are we discovering? I mean, you all know the stats already. We have the loneliest generation in the world. We have suicide rates that are through the roof. We have people that have issues with their bodies and shaming and all these kind of that. What is the where's the issue? Where's the root of it?
I know.
Right here in our hot little hands. No, I'm trying to bring some levity to it, but it's a problem.
Yeah. I know.
So anyway, back to digital fast. I'm trying to bring the why we should have digital fast.
Yeah.
Because we're spending too much time on it and it's constantly speaking to us.
Right.
And if it's speaking to us, we can't hear God.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And remember, like, in the 90s and early 2000s, there were the Christians that were like throwing their TVs out the window and like they really were like, this is the worst thing ever.
That was my parents.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it was a thing.
Yes.
And now we have these. And people aren't doing it. No, you don't see like videos of people throwing their phones out the window to be like, this is, you know what I mean?
Maybe we should get a movement together, Orah. I'm going to tell everybody
I'm
in
not
our
doing
church,
that.
throw your phone. No, I'm not suggesting that. But we have to get a handle on it.
I'm just saying that we've like really accepted it.
Yes.
We're really like, this is just what it is
We've
now.
given in.
Yeah.
We've lost the war, so to speak. Okay. So let's talk about, so we've talked about the why. Now, how do we do a digital fast?
Yeah.
And something that's maybe short term and what's something that's sustainable?
Oh boy.
Because I think we can do short-term sprints.
We should.
Well, I've talked to so many millennials and Gen Zs that have said, oh yeah, I've gone off my phone for 3 days or a week or whatever it is. But then it's like, yeah, but you're again, talking about habits, but you haven't really changed the way in which you connect to the device.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, here's my pitch for a fast.
I love this. I
would
want to hear
be
this.
that if we tried to do a Sabbath that involved our phone. We were resting from our phones. We were fasting from our phones.
I like that.
Maybe on a weekly basis, like a Sabbath, a Shabbat.
Maybe on a Sunday. And so when you come into the church, we're not on our phones.
Yeah. What if you really did a call for everybody to like bring paper Bibles back? You're like, we're not getting our phone out.
I think
we're
the
using
young
our
people
Bibles.
would love that.
I bring a paper Bible to church every time.
Should I start?
Otherwise, I'll be on my phone.
Should I start doing that?
You should.
Maybe I should start doing that.
It's too tempting. Once you check your phone, you're like, I have 4 notifications.
Should I not do the screen behind me?
Whoa, that would be wild. What if you did like a blackout? Wow, this is so exciting. Okay.
Our digital back there is sweating right now. What am I going to do with my job? No social media, no camera, no screens.
Screen free.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Well, I think
your point is let's do consistent fasts.
Yeah, if it's digital,
got it.
You can fast food. I'm not going to fast food. So I'm just saying this is an option, I think, where it's like, hey, let's bring our focus back.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so then I would say if you're going to do that, I've got 2 things in my mind.
Okay.
First thing, I'm going to take an aside and I'm going to come back.
Okay.
So in the first century and even in the beginning of the Methodist movement, Christians would fast on Wednesday and Friday.
Oh, interesting.
That's what they would do. Every Wednesday and every Friday they would fast. And it was in conjunction with Jesus being betrayed by Judas. Okay, so they're remembering that, and then Jesus going to the cross on a Friday.
On a Friday,
okay. And so it's always kind of in their memory about saying, okay, we're going to fast those 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so there's the consistent nature of the fast. But the problem was becoming is that they were just rotely doing the fast, and it didn't mean anything. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we can't do a digital fast on a Sabbath if all we're doing is putting the device down and not doing anything else. This is where we have to replace it with something.
Okay.
And that goes to if we're gonna put the phone down and stop the noise, then we should put the phone down then with the intent to say, okay, God, I'm not gonna listen to the world, God, I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
And how can I be more intentional about listening?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Because if we're just putting the phone down, we're invariably going to have other things that we're going to listen to.
Right.
Maybe we say we're not going to do the phone, but we're going to watch movies all day long. Or do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I would be tempted to do that.
Yeah,
I'm just as guilty, right? Or I'm going to watch the football game, or I'm going to watch the radio or listen to the radio, or I'm going to fill in the noise with other things.
Yes.
But
it's hard to be quiet.
But that's not necessarily the purpose, right?
Yeah.
The purpose is, okay, I want to hear. And we've talked about this. Go on a walk in nature, have some quiet time where you're really going to sit in silence for 7. I did this thing, 7 minutes of silence for 7 days, trying to get us to kind of think through some silence moments.
Yeah.
But I just want to be careful that we're not just putting one thing down and taking up another, and it doesn't really change us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I like that.
Okay. Anyway, digital fast.
You just said silence, and it made me think of this that I'm not thinking this through right now. But some people fast speaking. Like they do silent retreats.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that.
You have?
Oh yeah. In seminary, we would do that. They would take all the guys and gals in seminary to a
like a monastery,
a Catholic monastery, and there was no talking at all.
How was it?
It was a 2-day retreat, no talking. Oh, I had no problem. I'm not necessarily, a guy that talks all the time. I know it may seem like I do, but it was great. We didn't even talk at the mealtime.
You ate silently.
You eat silently. So you're around this table. Sorry, I'm going back here. So we're around a table. There's 12 of us, and we're being served by the monks who are coming in, and they're serving us very plain meal. And you have to gesture for your salt, your pepper, and your water, and if you want other things. And there's no talking at all. Complete silence.
It's like, did you even want to be like, thank you? And you're like, no, I can't say. I literally can't say anything.
And of course, everyone's kind of giggling a little bit. But the monks are so stoic. stoic. They're like, you guys, you jokers, you don't even know what you're doing. We've been doing this for centuries.
Wow. Did you get anything out of it? Or no? Was it just kind of a fun memory?
It's, I think, more of a fun memory than anything.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like, I've done retreats even consistently, like coming back from seminary. You know, I went to seminary in 2009, finished in 2011, and then came back to Kansas City. And then a good church planting pastor, friend of mine, part of the Connect KC network, is Matt Shirley.
Yeah.
And he had found this Catholic monastery that's about an hour outside of Kansas City. And he's like, oh my gosh, I had such a great time. And so I've gone several times up there to this monastery. It's up north of St. Joe. And I'm basically all by myself. So there's no, I'm not talking at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll be there for 24 or 48 hours and just hang out and pray and worship and read and just, focus.
Ooh, like kind of a nice reset.
It's really nice.
I really like that.
So I think
are girls allowed to go?
has probably, girls are allowed to go. Absolutely. This is not just a male dominating thing. Yes, Orah. We believe in equality here. Yeah. No, you should do it. It's a phenomenal thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. We should put the link of the monastery that I go to. We'll do that. And it's very reasonable. I think you can go for 2 days for like, I don't know, $60 or something. Wow. 70. I can't remember what the cost is, but we'll put it up there. But it's very reasonable.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's basic and they provide food.
Yeah.
And if you want to fast, you fast. And if you want to eat, you eat. I went into the little cafeteria and I had some food and there's other people. They're all at their own individual tables and most people aren't talking and you kind of come in and go out. And there's all the acres of ground, that you get to walk around and
I kind of love
be in nature and love God, and it's good.
Just like reset.
It's 100%.
I like that.
You like that?
I do like that.
Orah.
Okay. Also, I know
I'm going to pause here for a second.
Oh, please.
Maybe that's something that if a spouse is listening or a grandparent is listening, maybe you can gift that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
As a Christmas present.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think seriously. So we'll put that on there. But that would, if someone was to gift that to me, like that's a huge thing. I'm gonna sign me up.
I'm in.
Of course, you have to figure out the childcare and all that other kind of stuff. But maybe you could make it a package or something for a young mom or a young dad or something to go because I think it's a great reset.
I love that.
Okay.
Another way that I read that people fast, I've never done this before, but I loved this idea, is a financial fast.
Oh, yes. I have heard about this.
Have you heard of this?
Please, go for it. Tell me.
You stop all non-essential spending. Yes. And you focus on gratitude, and you are welcome to use generosity during this time. But non-essential spending on yourself is donezo. Yeah. And I've never heard of that before.
I think that's scriptural. I mean, we just talked about the passage in Isaiah, right?
Yep.
To be what was the word? To be intentional in your sharing of your food and your basically your stuff, right?
Yes.
This is what that is.
Yes.
It's saying, hey, just take the essentials and then use the rest to share with others.
I love it.
I think it's great.
It's a really cool idea.
Would that be great for if you have a house full of young kids or teenagers to say, hey, as a family, this is what we're going to do. And now I want you to look for intentional places to be generous.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
I really like it.
I should have done that when my kids were younger. That's a great thing. Yeah. It's good. I love that. Okay. So what would be, how do you think that would change your family? Let's be kind of specific about that.
Oh boy, that would be really interesting. I really enjoy doing some kind of giving. My kids, we've done something where we've made packages for homeless that we keep in the car and give out.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. I really love the idea of them and us just focusing on our generosity. Yeah. I am not naturally a generous person. I'll just say that. That's not it doesn't come naturally to me. I'm not just monetarily, I would say.
Yeah.
Everybody's generous in their own way. Monetarily, I'm yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't come naturally to me. I think some people are gifted
about it. You have to kind of think it through to make that happen.
Yes. Phil is very monetarily generous. We're opposite attract in that way.
Yep.
So I think it'd be really good for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I think it'd be cool and good for me.
Maybe report back to us next season or something. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What else do I have here? I have fasting is less about what you give up and more about what you make space for.
Yeah, that's good.
And I like that again because I think that a lot of us who don't or can't fast food can feel lesser than. We can feel like the holy people are doing a 40-day fast.
Exactly.
And it can feel like,
Or I've been on a 7-day fast. I mean, how long have you been on? Right. I mean, it's that kind of attitude, right? And then you just feel, like you said, less than.
Yes.
But God calls us again to, like, he's telling the people, stop fasting. I want you to be just and kind and merciful and share. And those are just as spiritual.
Yes.
I just want to affirm what you're saying.
Yeah.
So good.
In a world of abundance,
fasting
reminds us that our true sustenance comes from him.
Come on.
And it's not
preach that, Orah. I'm listening.
It's not about deprivation, but it's about devotion.
Ooh, yes. It sounds like an AI line right there.
That
deprivation.
wasn't an AI line.
I got it.
Did
you use a little bit of AI on this?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
That's not a shame.
I'm learning from David.
That was a good. Yeah. No, it's good. I think it's not about deprivation. It's about devotion. I love that. I think that's very good. I
was asking it with specificity, like, how are we going to teach ourselves like that we're not earning something when we're fasting and we're not,
Yeah.
And I kept like dig deeper. And I really liked that line. That was one of the lines
I think that's really good. Yeah. Because it is about devotion. It goes back to the why. Why are we fasting? Well, because we want to have a better relationship with God. We want to, again, your word, we want to focus on our relationship with him, which in turn is going to fashion us, right? It's going to change us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I need changing.
Yeah.
Because I get, I'll say this, I'll get, thinking of the word gorged, like overwhelmed with the food that the world has to offer. Yeah. Whether that's social media or real food or the noise, like I'm gorging myself all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of fat people out there, and I hope you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But we're engorged, we're fattened by the world, by all the noise and all the stuff and all the hours that we're watching. That we're flabby fat Christians that are
Speak
not
for yourself.
Right. And I'm pointing the finger at myself just as much, but that we're not disciplined people.
Yeah, I think
because there's so much out there.
Yes. I think that generally, like for myself, I get very comfortable. My life is comfortable. The day to day is comfortable. Yep. And it's not even so much of being like, I don't want to fast. It's like, it doesn't even dawn on me to fast. Do you know what I mean?
That's almost worse.
Wow. Thanks, David.
I'm not saying you, but no, I'm looking at all of us.
Yeah.
Like it is work, because then that's apathy.
Yeah.
That's just a malaise. I'm using some big words here, but that's just the.
I just think you can just get used to your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get caught in the stream of the culture and the current that we're in.
Yeah.
And we have to be intentional.
Yes. And the only time you think about fasting is when you're in the valley. It's when you're in the wilderness. That's the only time it dawns on you to fast.
Yeah, that's true. Or the pastor tells you in January it's time to fast.
Right. A New Year's resolution.
Right, exactly.
So I think this is a good encouragement at this point.
So too.
Where we are within the year.
Yeah.
To start thinking about your intentions.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I think we've given you like lots of different options. There's the Daniel fast, which we didn't talk a whole lot about, but that idea, right, of that you can eat, but focus on what you're eating. You're going to do a full fast. You're going to do, liquid fast. You're going to do social media fast. You're going to do, fasts of, what else we talk about?
Television,
media, social media, all those things. What else?
Or generosity. You're going to fast your non-essential spending.
Yes. Mercy, kindness, compassion. We're going to focus and be intentional on that. Man, there's a lot of things that you can do.
Yes.
And I wonder what it is that God is pricking your heart to do.
Yes.
Right? Because we can't do all of those things.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that are going to resonate with you. And that's probably the Holy Spirit speaking to you like, hey, that's a thing you can lean into.
Yeah. For me right now, I'm thinking we've just been, as a country, doing a lot of the government shutdown, the SNAP benefits.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about like giving of food and stuff, I was like, I should be doing that. Like I should be going through my stuff and giving and making food, dropping it off.
Yeah, especially this time of the year, Christmas and all the different things that are going on. Like this is, come on, this is the time of generosity, right?
Yeah.
We've been given so much, right? Jesus says, to whom much is given, much is required, right?
Yeah.
We want to be able to do these things. So so good.
Yeah, hopefully something's been speaking to you in this, and we want to encourage you to lean into it.
And I'm sure this is not what you were thinking for the Christmas holiday season, thinking about fasting, but I think it's very appropriate at the same time, right? Like, okay, we've been given a lot. Let's be generous with what God's given us.
Yeah.
And that's what a real fast is.
Yeah. I like that.
Me too. So good. Okay, Orah.
We did it.
We did it. Why don't you close us out? We've been kind of doing this season. We've been kind of closing out in some prayer, some mindful kind of moments.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us through a mindful moment or something, whatever the Lord lays on your heart. And if you've got the time and the opportunity, just let's focus here real quick.
Yeah. If you can, just close your eyes. God, thank you for this opportunity for us to learn together about fasting. And I pray, Lord, that you would just help us to lean into focusing on you, focusing on really what your will is for us to help us to be a more generous people and to help us to strive for justice and to help those people in poverty. Lord, I pray that you would just really help our focus to align with your focus. Yeah. That in this busy holiday season, which can feel so overwhelming with the busyness, that we would be able to pause and take a breath and take a moment, whether it be a mealtime or a post-evening time where we would have screens, that we would take those moments to take a breath and refocus, to spend some time in prayer and in worship, and spend some time listening for your whisper, for your voice, for your direction. And Lord, I pray that we would be doers, that we wouldn't be so content to just keep going in the way that we are going and in our comfort, but we would be the doers of the fast. We would be the doers of the volunteering and the doers of the service. Just pray, Lord, that you would urge us and speak to us and guide us in what we can do this week to make a difference. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So good, Orah.
Great to be with you this week, David.
Love to be with you as well. Faith in real life.
We'll see you next week.